What's up, YouTube? It's Tobias Ray with $1 Million California Real Estate, bringing you another study guide video today. We're going over valuation and market analysis. We're just going to do a quick 10-piece real quick. All right, let's get to it. Well, I never did this before. That's how you know I don't think it's on the test, but it is good to know, so let's do it. Which principle is based on the theory that the less there is of something, the higher it costs? Principle of highest and best use, the principle of supply and demand, principle of regression, principle of progression. Look at this one. Yep, principle of supply and demand. Question rationale. The principle of supply and demand states that the less there is of something, the more it will cost. Question number 2. The square footage of a 2-story building that is 54 by 40 is... Yeah, you're not going to get questions like this on the test, so let's just keep going. There are some math questions a little bit, but I believe, there's no, major math questions. They took all that out. Yeah. A property owner paid $25 per front foot of a lot of 600 feet times 14. Yeah. I didn't get none of these on my test at all. I did not. Which of the following would not be depreciated? Okay, now this might be something important, so let's see. A 2,700 square foot commercial building, unimproved land leases for open storage, a residential property used as a rental, an abandoned building. So which of the following would not be depreciated? Ooh. I either want to say abandoned building or B, unimproved land leases for open storage. Let's see that one. We hitting today. Okay, so question rationale. Only improvements are depreciated, not land. I should have got that one wrong. Maybe it would have given me a longer explanation, but oh well. Remember that. Only improvements are depreciated, not land. Question number 5. The sale price is always... Now, I do remember this. I do remember something like this on my test. So let's see. Replacement cost, market value, appraisal value, market price. I am not sure. The sales price is always market price. Yeah. The sales price is always market price. In an arm's length transaction, it is also market value. In an arm's length transaction, that is some words that you need to remember because I remember that being on the test. You need to read your textbook if you really want to pass this test and do some of the practice tests inside of your textbook as well. All right, question number 6. Which of these is typically used on a market value appraisal? Reproduction cost by estimating the depreciation cost of improvements with similar utility to the subject. Replacement cost by estimating the depreciated cost of improvements with similar utility to the subject. Reproduction costs by estimating the depreciated cost of an exact replica. Replacement cost by estimating the depreciating cost of an exact replica. This actually does sound familiar, and we got the first one wrong. So it's B. Replacement cost by estimating the depreciated cost of improvements with similar utility to the subject. So the question rationale. A replacement using today's materials and methods is usually acceptable to buyers. Not much of an explanation, huh? All right, question number 7. The term amenities in reference to real property valuation refers to features both tangible and intangible, which enhances the desirability of real estate. Valuation placed upon property is the basis to set the amount of taxes to be levied. The value of real property fixed for purposes of computing taxes. An increase in the value of property due either to a positive improvement of the area or the elimination of negative factors. I think it's either A or D, so let's go with A. Yep. So the term amenities in reference to real property valuation refers to features both tangible and intangible, which enhances the desirability of real estate. So the question rationale. Appreciation is increase in the value of property due either to positive improvements of the area or to the elimination of negative factors. Assessments is the valuation placed upon real property as the basis to set the amount of tax to be levied. Appurtenance is something that belongs to the property and passes with it, i.e. the rights that run with the land upon purchase. Amenities, including a historically desirable location, preferred floor plan, or anything with value to a buyer, enhances the desirability of the real estate. Next question, question number 8. In analyzing a vacant parcel of land to estimate its value, the first logical step is to determine price the owner paid for it, highest and best use, its listed price, price of comparable improved properties. I believe it's D. Oh, it's highest and best use. I had a feeling. All right. Until you first determine its highest and best use, other comparisons are futile. Question number 9. We're almost done. To compute the real property tax on a parcel of land, A, multiply the assessed value X times the tax rate. B, multiply the fair market value times the tax rate. Multiply the replacement cost value times the assessment rate. And D, multiply the fair market value times the assessment rate. I'm not too sure, so I'm just pick D. It's A. Multiply the assessed value times the tax rate. So question rationale. The fair market value times the assessment rate gives you the assessed value. You then need to multiply the assessed value times the tax rate to compute the real estate tax. Remember to divide by 1,000 for mills. Final question, number 10. Come on, let's get to it. What is the principle that states cities and neighborhoods are always changing and individual homes within those neighborhoods reflect that change? Principle of conformity, principle of substitution, principle of change, principle of supply and demand. I remember this one both studying it. It might have been on the test too, but this is an easy money ball question. Principle of change. I loved all these principles as well. Just a little, know about me. But anyway, the question rationale. The principle of change states that cities and neighborhoods are always changing, and individual homes within those neighborhoods reflect that change. All right, you guys, thank you for studying with me. Today, we gave you a little 10-piece, quick 10-piece. Make sure you rewatch the video about 3-4 times. Remember, memory is all about repetition. Tests are all about memory. So just repeat. Like, subscribe, give me a comment, and a rewatch. Thanks for studying with your boy. It's TB with $1 Million Real Estate.